You've collected a lot over the years, little things you couldn't quite throw out even if they seemed like clutter to others. But what if I told you that some of that junk is actually the start of something beautiful? Today we're not decorating from scratch. We're creating from memory, meaning, and what you already have. I'll show you 10 simple ways to turn forgotten objects into cozy, elegant home decor without shopping, without stress. Because, sweetheart, elegance isn't about trends. It's about grace, intention, and knowing what feels right. Moreover, you deserve a space that feels as graceful and layered as the life you've lived. Let's begin with one little object you thought you were done with. Turn a dish, tray, or bowl into a signature corner. Start with a piece you've probably overlooked for years. A tray from a holiday gift set, a mismatched dinner plate, or that fruit bowl that lives in the back of your cabinet. You kept it for a reason, because deep down you knew it had charm. Now, let's give it a new purpose. First, clean it thoroughly. If it's wood, wipe it with a damp cloth and a drop of olive oil to restore the sheen. For ceramic or glass, soak it gently in warm soapy water and dry it completely before styling. Taking this step ensures that your piece looks fresh and polished, ready for its new purpose. To begin styling your tray, choose a base layer that adds texture and warmth. You have several options here. A cloth napkin, with a subtle texture like linen, muslin, or cotton, an old scarf or handkerchief that might carry sentimental value, or even a small table runner. If you want to bring some extra coziness, a handkerchief or scarf can also add a personal touch, especially if it holds a memory, making the space feel more inviting. Next, add some lighting. A candle is a simple but effective way to introduce warmth and ambiance. You can use a real candle in a soft, natural color, like cream or lavender, or go with a battery-operated one, if you prefer something safer. If you're aiming for something more whimsical, consider wrapping a string of fairy lights around the tray or nearby, creating a soft, glowing effect. Now, add a natural element to your vignette. A bundle of dried lavender, or a few pine cones brings a rustic charm, while eucalyptus adds a refreshing green element. You could also use a small plant or succulent if you'd like something fresh. The idea is to keep it simple, but add something from nature that brings life into the space. For an extra touch, you can personalize and elevate your tray. Adding handles can give the tray a custom designer feel. Screw in small brass drawer pulls, available at most hardware stores, or repurpose handles from old furniture. If you want to raise the tray, glue 4 wood beads or knobs underneath to create little feet, giving it a more elevated look. Alternatively, you could stack a small book or decorative box underneath the tray for additional depth and style. Finally, find the perfect spot for your newly styled tray. Consider a side table, next to your favorite chair, a nightstand in the guest room, or a hallway table. This signature corner will become a cozy, curated space that feels intentional and peaceful. By following these simple steps, you'll transform a forgotten tray, dish, or bowl into a beautiful functional vignette that not only enhances your space, but also reflects your personal style and the memories that make it special. Now that we've added personality to a simple dish, let's take a look at how you can bring old frames or mirrors to the forefront in your home, making them a stunning part of your decor. Give old frames or mirrors a front and center role. Take a walk around your home, and I guarantee you'll find one. A photo frame with no glass, a mirror that never got rehung after a wall change, or even a dusty framed print that no longer fits your current style. Don't toss it, transform it. Start by cleaning it gently with a microfiber cloth. If the frame is wooden and worn, you can refresh it with furniture polish or give it a coat of chalk paint, cream, matte black, soft sage. Chalk paint dries quickly, requires no sanding, and gives that French country feel. If you're feeling adventurous, consider a soft nostalgic color, like a faded blue or rose to evoke a sense of warmth and memory. Once your frame is clean and fresh, it's time to add meaning. You might want to incorporate family photos or meaningful quotes from loved ones. A framed picture of your children, grandchildren, or even a moment from your past adds a personal, emotional touch. Alternatively, you can print a favorite family quote or an inspirational saying that has always resonated with you. This adds a deeper connection, making the frame not just a piece of decor, but a part of your life story. If you'd like to go the extra mile with DIY customization, consider using washi tape or ribbon to create a beautiful creative border around the frame. This adds a bit of flair and personal style, making it uniquely yours. You could even match the color or pattern of the tape to other elements in the room, creating a cohesive look that ties everything together. For a truly meaningful touch, you might want to attach a small nostalgic item to the frame itself. It could be a vintage key, a delicate charm, or a small trinket that holds sentimental value, a memento from a special trip, or something passed down through generations. These small additions personalize the frame even further, making it an even richer part of your home's history. If the frame is empty, you could use it as an open decor piece. Pin a handwritten note inside, with mini clothespins on twine, or tape a pressed flower onto a piece of craft paper as a center insert. Pinterest is full of creative filler ideas, like fabric swatches, burlap, lace, linen, vintage sheet music, or book pages with your favorite quote. Each of these suggestions brings a unique heartfelt layer to your home. Or leave the frame empty and layer it behind a smaller object, like a lamp vase or stack of books, for a gallery-style effect. This adds depth and allows the frame to become a subtle part of a curated vignette, letting the space tell a larger story. If you're rehanging a mirror, try placing it in a hallway or above a console table. Mirrors reflect light and make smaller spaces feel brighter, even if they're small. Don't be afraid to lean the mirror instead of hanging it. It gives a modern, relaxed feel, while still allowing the mirror to add elegance and light to the room. The most important part of this project. Remember, you're not doing this to impress anyone. You're doing it to re-love what you already own, to give new life and meaning to something that's been tucked away for too long. It's about reconnecting with memories, cherished moments, and giving your home a touch of warmth, nostalgia, and personality. Turn scarves and linens into table runners or covers. Open the drawer where you keep your scarves, the ones you haven't worn in years, but couldn't part with. Or maybe it's your linen napkins from decades ago, embroidered by hand, saved for special occasions. Even that curtain panel you folded away after a room makeover, these pieces still have beauty to offer. Take one out and give it a soft press. You don't have to iron it perfectly, just a gentle steam, or a quick press with your palm, while it's laid flat, is enough to bring it back to life. Now look at your nightstand, tray table, or vanity. Drape it across the surface, and let it fall naturally. If it's a square piece, fold it into a triangle, to create visual interest. For a personalized touch, you could add a brooch, an old clip-on earring, or even a satin ribbon to the corner of the fabric. These small additions elevate the piece, giving it an extra layer of charm and personality. To create a cozier, more inviting look, consider taking smaller pieces, like napkins or lace doilies, and rolling them gently. Tuck them into a basket, along with a dried flower or a small hand cream. This creates that warm, welcoming bed and breakfast feel that you often see in magazines or Pinterest boards. Don't worry about perfect matching. Elegance doesn't come from perfection. It comes from care and intention. A blend of different textures and materials will give the space more depth and character. Consider combining fabrics like silk, linen, and wool for a rich, layered look. If you want to go the extra step, you could personalize the fabric with small hand-stitched initials, or a simple pattern in the corners, making it uniquely yours. For an added sensory experience, lightly spray the linens with a delicate scent like lavender or rosewater. The soft aroma will transform the space into something soothing and serene, enhancing the atmosphere. This simple yet beautiful transformation doesn't require spending any money. It just requires a little time and thought to give new life to items that have meaning. Create pillow covers from old clothing or curtains. Now let's turn to the closet. That blouse you used to love but doesn't fit quite right anymore. Or that soft sweater with a snag you couldn't fix. They're not meant for the donation pile. They're perfect for something more intimate. A pillow. You don't need a sewing machine for this project. Simply grab a throw pillow insert, or even repurpose an old pillow you already have, and your chosen fabric. Wrap the fabric around the pillow, like you're folding a present. Neat edges tucked under, creating a smooth and tidy look. Use safety pins, iron-on hem tape, or fabric glue to hold it in place. For an extra soft touch, consider tying the pillow like a gift using a beautiful ribbon or lace, adding a charming and delicate appearance. Want to take it a step further? If you're feeling creative, color blocking is a great option. Combine pieces from different fabrics or old clothing for a modern patchwork effect. This approach can add visual interest and uniqueness to your pillow, making it even more personal. Incorporate vintage buttons for a nostalgic touch. Instead of just using safety pins, consider sewing on buttons that hold sentimental value, or using a piece of jewelry as a decorative accent. The buttons can represent cherished memories, and the jewelry can add a touch of elegance to the pillow's design. Finally, tie it with a bow. Instead of just securing the fabric with fabric glue or pins, use a soft, luxurious ribbon to tie the pillow closed. This extra step creates a whimsical, inviting look that adds personality and warmth to any space. These pillows add softness to a reading chair, a guest bed, or even a window seat. They don't just look lovely, they feel like home, bringing comfort and personal meaning to your space. Turn baskets into open storage beauty. Baskets are everywhere, under beds, in closets, next to the washing machine. We use them to stash things out of sight. But what if they weren't just storage? What if they became decorative anchors in your space? Start by choosing 1 or 2 baskets that aren't being used well. Wicker, rope, wire, or even an old plastic bin can work. Wipe them clean with a damp cloth and dry them fully. If the color feels too dark or dated, you can easily spray paint them in soft neutrals like ivory, taupe, or light gray. For a country cottage look, try dry brushing them with white paint. Just a touch across the top surface adds softness and creates a timeless, rustic vibe. To personalize your basket, line it with something cozy. You can use a cloth napkin, scarf, or even a pillowcase folded neatly to create a soft interior. This adds a layer of warmth and comfort to the piece. Fill it with rolled towels for a bathroom corner, knitting supplies in a hallway nook, or a few favorite books beside your reading chair. The basket becomes both functional and decorative, adding texture and charm to any space. For an added personal touch, consider tying a ribbon or adding a tag with a handwritten label. Words like relax, read, or warm things give the basket a boutique feel. You can use fabric paint or stencils to label your baskets creatively with personalized messages like memories, treasures, or love. These labels not only add charm, but also make it easier to identify what's inside. If you want to elevate the functionality of your basket, consider adding dividers inside. This keeps things neat and organized, while still looking cute. It's a great way to store small items like scarves, magazines, or craft supplies without making the space feel cluttered. With these simple updates, baskets go from being hidden storage to a decorative functional element in your home. They add both organization and style, all while enhancing the cozy personal atmosphere of your space. Repurpose mugs and teacups as planters or holders. We all have them. Single teacups from mismatched sets, mugs that lost their partner, or quirky gifts you never really used. Don't hide them in cabinets, bring them out, and give them a new job. Start by choosing 2-3 cups that catch your eye. They don't need to match, just feel cheerful or elegant. If they're chipped, turn the chip toward the back when displayed. If they're stained, soak them in vinegar and baking soda for a gentle clean. Now decide how to use them. Add a small faux plant or succulent, real ones work too. If you add pebbles for drainage, store cotton pads or Q-tips in the bathroom. Use as a pen or scissor holder on your craft table, or place one near your bedside with a note, lavender sachet, or tea bag tucked inside. Want to go further? Glue the cup to its saucer and place it on a tray or shelf. You've just made a charming pedestal piece. Some people even stack cups and saucers into tiered jewelry holders using strong glue. Display them where you'll see them: a shelf, your bathroom vanity, or next to your stove. They'll make you smile, and that's reason enough. Frame old letters, recipes, or sheet music. You might have a drawer full of these old handwritten recipes from your mother, a birthday card from someone long gone, or a bit of sheet music you played on rainy afternoons. These papers are more than just keepsakes. They are memory, texture, and heart, and when framed right, they become art. Start by gently flattening the page. If it's fragile or yellowed, you can back it with neutral craft paper or soft parchment for support. Place it in a floating frame if you want a clean, airy look, or a vintage frame if you prefer a more antique vibe. Want to elevate it further? Tuck in a pressed flower or a thin strip of lace along the edge. You could even add a handwritten date or title beneath it to anchor the story. If you're displaying music, add a tiny gold treble clef charm or pin to the corner for a whimsical touch. Where should it go? Try propping it on a bookshelf, setting it on your mantle, or hanging it near your writing desk or reading chair. These pieces don't need to be hidden. They're quiet statements of your life, layered with love. Create a memory tray or keepsake bowl. This one is simple, sweet, and instantly heartwarming. Find a shallow dish, old serving tray, or even a ceramic bowl that's been sitting unused. Clean it gently, then fill it with small personal items that tell a story. Think brooches, pins, military medals, tiny vacation souvenirs, baby socks, marbles from your grandson's pockets, or that button from your husband's coat you never could throw away. What makes this powerful is presentation. Group items by feel, not theme. Add a strip of velvet or a handkerchief to the bottom of the tray so the items rest softly. You can tie tiny tags to each object if you'd like to label them, or just let them speak for themselves. Consider placing this tray on your bookshelf, beside your favorite lamp, or on a console table in the hallway. It's a gentle conversation starter, but more importantly, it's a small way to honor the stories that shaped your heart. Pinterest calls these sentimental vignettes, but for you, they're just home. Create candle holders from glass jars and vases. Gather the glass jars from jams, candles, or sauces. Start by removing the labels. Soaking them in warm water with baking soda works wonders. Once cleaned, these jars become the perfect canvas for your creativity. Wrap the jars with twine or lace for a rustic, elegant look. Add a tea light or LED candle inside, and place the jar near your bed, bath, or anywhere that could use a soft glow. If you're aiming for extra charm, glue on old buttons, small keys, or tie handwritten tags with calming words like peace or rest for a personal touch. But why stop there? Add scent with intention. By placing a few drops of essential oils like lavender or sandalwood on the inside rim of the jar, the heat from the candle will release the fragrance, creating a peaceful atmosphere. You can also layer the jars with creativity. Add dried flowers, tiny pebbles, or small decorative stones before placing the candle inside. This not only adds texture, but makes each jar feel unique and special. These jars don't have to serve only as candle holders. They can easily double as vases for fresh or dried flowers, or even as small storage containers for cotton balls, jewelry, or sewing kits. Repurposing these jars into functional decorative pieces makes them even more valuable to your home decor. Style a blanket ladder or chair with old quilts. Instead of tucking your handmade quilts or old throws into closets, why not use them as decor? These cherished pieces, full of memories, deserve to be displayed and appreciated, not hidden away. Drape them over a chair, or if you have a vintage ladder, use it to hang the quilts for a beautiful rustic display. Alternatively, roll and stack them in a wicker basket for an effortlessly cozy look. To elevate the presentation, tie them with ribbons or lace for that boutique feel, or use an old silk scarf or handkerchief To make the display feel even more personal and sentimental, adding softness to the setup can make it even more inviting. Consider throwing a soft plush cushion on the chair or blanket ladder, creating a space that invites relaxation and warmth. Layering the quilts also adds depth and character. Try cascading them over the ladder with different patterns or textures that tell a story. This layering technique brings visual interest, making the display feel dynamic and thoughtfully arranged. Even if the quilts are worn or faded, displaying them with love adds warmth to your space. Each quilt carries a story, and when showcased, they become more than just a functional item. They become a part of the atmosphere, adding comfort and nostalgia to any room. You didn't need to buy anything new because the beauty was already here, in your home, in your hands. All it needed was a little love, a little intention, and a fresh set of eyes. These weren't just forgotten things, they were invitations waiting quietly to become something more. So tonight, open that drawer. Look twice at the box you nearly tossed. You might just find your next favorite piece hiding in plain sight. Because being cozy isn't a trend, it's a feeling. And you, sweetheart, know exactly how to create it. You're not decorating, you're storytelling, and your story isn't finished yet.